welcome to our coverage of British Showjumping's International Stairway Series. It's the UK's premier showjumping circuit, and today we're at the Royal Norfolk Show for the 5th leg of the series. So far this year we've seen 4 different winners and plenty of action. So dramatic stuff. So that brings us to the Norfolk Leg, and clarification there that the 4 winners in the series so far are Robert Bevis, Nigel Cowp, David McPherson and most recently Kerry Brennan up in Scotland. So if we take a look at the points table, Nigel Cowp still with a clear lead as a result of some great consistency with the 1st, 2nd and 4th. Timothy Davis has 2 horses in the top 5. He's 2nd with Braveheart and 5th with Valentino. Creeping up the leaderboard is Chloe Winchester. She was 3rd at the Royal Highland and is our best placed lady rider, having moved ahead of Nicole Pavitt. So with the leader Nigel Cowp not here in Norfolk, there's an opportunity for Tim Davis or Chloe Winchester to make their mark on the leaderboard. Chloe, how's the horse been? How is she?
She's jumped fantastically. Went up to Royal Highland last week and she was 3rd in the Stairway and 2nd in the Grand Prix, so she's on terrific form and hopefully will go well today.
It's wide open, isn't it, this season, particularly with 4 winners, 4 events?
Yeah, no, it's very, very competitive this year. At Suffolk, there are 40 in it. It's a less field today, but yeah, everyone's really strong.
Well, here's the man that's mob-handed on the leaderboard this season. You've got 2 in the top 5, Tim. Who have you got here in Norfolk?
I've got Valentino, who is my old campaigner. Well, not so old, but he's been doing it for a few years. And a younger one called Braveheart.
Those are the 2. Braveheart's obviously 2nd in the leaderboard at the moment. Valentino is 5th. Your chances of being successful with one of them is pretty high, you'd think.
I didn't realise I was 2nd with Braveheart. He has been very consistent this year. This will be he did a bit last year at this level, but this will be his first time of doing it continuously. I will carry on with him doing these shows because I think they're invaluable for his experience and for him to go on to jump abroad and all the other things. And he's been absolutely fantastic. He's as he's 2nd, he's been very consistent. So long may it continue, and we'll see, what you can do today. Anybody who's competing in the stairway's got a chance. They're all as good as each other. I think you have to have a little bit of luck on your side so that you can perform on that day in that certain class, because you can have a silly mistake and you're out. I don't think a lot of people realise how easy it is to jump a really good round and just have one silly rail down. It is very precise, it's very difficult, and you have to have a bit of luck, but also your horse has got to be on top form.
All the best to you today.
Thank you.
Well, good luck to them all here at the Royal Norfolk Show on this leg of the International Stairway Series. As you can see, a beautiful day, and this fabulous grass arena is one of the best. Tim Stockdale and Bling Bling would be one of the opening rounds, and they will take us around the course here, designed by Kelvin Bywater, using every bit of this fabulous turf arena here. And it is one of the busiest shows around the country. Huge public watching. A long stretch along the centre here with a combination. Comes on a curving line down to the Ships of the Line fence, part of those fences used at the Olympic Games in 2012. Time not too tight, it's got a little bit of space in there, but comes tightly there just to make sure they don't get over the time allowed that comes up. Of course, each of the courses measured for a relevant time, depending on the speed around the course. 88 seconds in this occasion. Now, this ride for Tim is a new one this season. 9 years of age for Anne Basie Fisher. The family themselves have owned a host of show jumpers. And Tim, with tremendous experience. Water jump opens them up, just getting the horse back. Still a fair bit of space there to get to that vertical. And a very, very good horse that's looking well within its capabilities at the moment. Curving line down here for the final few. It's pretty tight in the end there to the final vertical, but it's a nice round from Tim Stockdale. And Bling Bling, 87.15, 88 seconds the time allowed. Obviously a clock in the head, but a horse with a nice athletic action, landing away. Tim Davis, Valentino, hugely experienced, second in the series before now, competed at the Horse of the Year show, and been developing through this series for a number of years with both This Ride and Brave Heart, of course, up there in second spot in the overall rankings for this International Stairway. So overall, looking to get through to that second round. Top 5 going through to the second round are all the clears. First and foremost is get the clear in the bag. Maybe you might see a full to go through if they're a quick one. We'll wait and see. See, round their corner, they can lose a bit of time if they're not careful. They want to use that little island there of the flowers and the trellising just to stay tight to that, so they don't drift too far and risk picking up time faults. Tim based in Suffolk, so not too far away to head to the Royal Norfolk. Opens up down here. Plenty of room to get to that. 7 strides for some as they come on the corner. See, the horse is enjoying springing off the lush grass here in Norfolk, beautifully prepared. And just 4 strides to the last. And that vertical would be so easy to have. Just got to be careful as a cat over that last. 84.43. Quicker time from Tim Davis, and Valentino will put him in a better position going into round 2.
Well done, Tim. Set the standard there. First to go in. A nice round.
I was really pleased, actually. Bling Bling is a new horse for me. This is a big step up for him. He's been doing some class with his owner, and then I've got him to sell. And I must say, he's just improved every time I've taken him, the bigger stuff. And he's a big jumper, and so suits this type of competition.
What's the course like? A huge, lovely grass arena. Big fences?
This is one of the best rings in the country, it really is. And they try so hard to get the ground perfect, and they've done it again. Big jumps. I must say, it starts off pretty relaxed, and then you've got the combination fairly early. You've got a couple of switchbacks in the course. Emma Slater in the ring now, she's actually doing it, turning back to 6 and again back to 7, and these sort of things are there to disrupt rhythm, so they're trying to get control as well as they're trying to disrupt your rhythm as well.
I know you've got a clock in your head, but time is so important, especially for these early starters.
Yes and no. I mean, from my point of view, I'm still getting to know the horse. I'm not sure whether he's a fast horse. He's relatively new in this environment, so for me, jumping the fences is first and foremost. The clock will be secondary, so that's all right. It actually works well for me sometimes because I can post the clear rounds and then let the others worry about going faster.
Early days at the moment, but faults seem to be spread around the course. Or would you say there's one particular fence which you think perhaps might be the bogey fence?
I think the combination, but also I think this last line now, this is a very big oxer here that Emma's just rattled, but it stayed, and then that's a short 4 stride there. That's difficult enough, that last line. You're not clear until you've jumped it.
Well, Emma shows us how to do it. Art du sens does just finish on the 4. Has a chance of going through to round 2, but we wait and see. But those that didn't, I'm afraid, were Chloe Winchester and Evoca Valkyrie, finishing one of the series so far. Tim Davis and Braveheart currently second in the series. I'm afraid 2 down for them this time. And previous series winner, Helen Treadwell, well, it was poles all over with Lark Song. And for Philip Miller, another series champion before now, Kriti RZ, unfortunately for this time. And for Douglas Duffin, making the trip down from Scotland, produced to clear 85.28 to put him in a good position and guarantees his spot in the jump-off alongside Tim Davis and Tim Stockdale. Anna Edwards now with the 9-year-old Blazer B in their first International Stairway Series class for this horse. She's jumped a whole host of them with previous rides, including Unique. And this one that's been stepping up this season, this is probably one of the biggest tracks they've jumped this year. Competing in the early part of the year out in Spain. Mijas Livanova, and now the lady from Somerset makes the long trip up to the Royal Norfolk. And you see pretty swiftly round there, she's thinking about the time as well, because they go in reverse order, the fastest of the clears to go last. So she's looking for a good position in the jump off if she can get that too. Also, if a rider does just touch a pole, a horse just touches a pole, and it drops, the chances of making it through with a fast fourfold are still pretty high. So it's playing the percentages all the time. just what will give you the best position as they go. Just a little touch there. Now, really races on down to the water, has the horse right back and quickly comes back to her. You've got to have that control. That's been worked out on at home, on the flat, over poles, establishing that control before you come over these big fences. Well, just down to this final line. A little deliberate on that one, as Tim Stockdale said. Got to be so careful of that last fence, and a very good round. Well, surprisingly, one time fault, 88.26. I assume she's lost that in the early part of the course because it was pretty swift round the second part. One time fault though for Anna Edwards, but she may well go through. And at this stage, with one left to come, she's in fourth position, so guarantees a spot in round two, but carries forward the one. Philip Miller in a precarious position with Crete RZ. Tim Davis with the quickest of them so far. At the moment, pole for round two. Join us for the rest of the action here from Norfolk after the break. Welcome back to the stunning Royal Norfolk Show. A beautiful afternoon for the sport and enjoyed by literally thousands around the showground here. And in round one, just Karen Nicol left to come.
He's jumping well, and you must take advantage of it because it doesn't happen all the time. So I'm hoping that he goes well today. And he's fresh enough. He feels fresh enough. I just hacked him twice at home, and I gave him a little pop over like a couple of metre fences just to exercise him yesterday, and he's certainly winning at everything and feeling good.
Well, looking very good as well. Rider who finished second in the series back in 2013, and already this season finishing third at the South of England round of the International Stairway. Now went pretty wide around that corner. He's keeping moving on the pace. He comes a little bit tighter there. It's about finding a line all the way around the course, the ones that suit, that will still get you inside the time. Horse that keeps developing nicely. 10 years of age now, really coming into its prime. Now hold back there. Now she's pushing on well. Asks a lot over that vertical. Now says steady back down, as this final set of fences come up very, very quickly. Takes another pull, steady off. Well, just that last, they get stuck in the bottom of that, I'm afraid, and it is a couple down. 8 there for Karen Nicol and Mr. Visto off in front there. And that just left them very close to the last. So this is how it looks for the 5 going through. Tim Davis with the best of them. Philip Miller will start them off with Crete RZ, looking for those all-important points. In the middle, though, Tim Stockdale, Anna Edwards and Douglas Duffin, all looking on great form.
So that's it, first round done and dusted. They're just altering the course now for the jump off. It was actually an interesting first round after those 2 easy clears. The first 2 horses in the ring then caused all sorts of trouble. We lost 2 of our favourites, Chloe Winchester and Tim Davis on Braveheart. Tim, though, is clear and through to the second round with Valentino. Just 3 clears moving into this jump off. It's all to play for. 5 horses in it against the clock. Here's our commentator, Steve Wilde.
Thank you, Ali. Yes, away we go with our first. Now, playing a different game, he's starting on the 4 faults. So he's just really trying to protect his position. Get round here clear and fast, and then wait and see if those that have jumped clear maybe have a fence down and move him up the order. So this is a great one that requires accuracy and pace still. Great experienced combination of one many times on the International Stairway Series and above that internationally. Oh, a little slip. Philip gets himself back in the saddle, and that just can leave the horse unbalanced. You've just got to settle back down, just a little slither there. And it's obviously lost them time too. Well, that one comes down, falls on that one behind. And it's just disrupted the rhythm a little earlier. Quite hard to put that back together. So just quietly coming down the final few. And we'll leave them on 53.01 this time for Philip Miller and Kuriti RZ. Leaves them on the 8 faults in all as our first away in the second round. You see coming round here, toes in at just the back end, goes underneath. Philip looking to get himself back in the seat and find the position. Now Anna Edwards, Blazerbee, that one time fault in round 1. She obviously can't beat those that have jumped clear if they go clear again in this round. But playing for position 2 now, wants to try and eradicate some of the damage done in round 1. Remembering a horse that's really stepping up to this level. Hasn't got too much experience at this International Stairway Series yet. And this will be a good builder for them in the future. Turns up pretty well there, but wide enough. Leaves plenty of room for someone chasing a good time to get ahead. The key point for her is to stay on the clear and leave herself with a chance of some very good points here at Norfolk. And again, just got to be a little watchful of the time. It's pretty steadily around these few. Should be okay. But finishes on 58.76 and jumps clear this time. So just that one time fault carried forward for Anna Edwards and Blazerbee, but still leaves the door wide open for the other 3 to come. Picks up well athletically over, and now Tim Stockdale, Bling Bling. As we heard from him, this 9-year-old has looked very good so far this year in a host of classes, both nationally and internationally. Tim, who's just such a great job at giving these horses confidence to take on these bigger fences. Narrow fence up there, and you see that's where the works come at home. Neatly turns away. Really now being deliberate about making sure they get that clear in the bag. Keeping a bit of pace about it, but there's still room for a faster round to maybe come in here from those left. Nicely done down to the last, and a good building round for this pair in the future, and we'll leave them in a good position. Whether it's fast enough to win, we wait and see. Tim Stockdale and Bling Bling puts them in front at the moment. Just a tiny touch. Douglas Duffin makes a trip down from Scotland. Kidam BZ, and this has looked a very smart combination this year. And he's got a little more pace on this than those so far. Turning quickly down to this. Oh, and just slips, loses their feet underneath. Just got to be so accurate on the turf. Beautiful lush grass, but sometimes can just leave that with a tiny bit of slip in it. They have the studs, as they're called, in their shoes behind to make them grip, just like a runner having spikes they do on their boots. In the same way it can work for a horse. On the 4 then, unfortunately just losing it on that turn. Still looks a nice round, hasn't touched a fence yet. Just a little touch at the last, but it does leave them out on time. 61.74, Douglas Duffin and Kidam BZ. There'll be a lot more from them yet over the next few weeks. Puts them into 3rd place at the moment. We see comes round the corner and just loses the footing.
Clear 55.33.
Now a chance for Tim Davis and Valentino to snatch this one easily. Currently sitting in 2nd place in the overall series, well, with 2 right up there, Valentino and Braveheart. 2nd spot at the moment on Braveheart. Now Tim can be a little more conservative in his round here to put the clear in the bag and put him at the top. All the experience that he's got of riding in these grass arenas pays off. Now just leaves him with 1 to come. 55.33 leading time. He should have enough here, but it's pretty close. 54.91 from Tim Davis, and Valentino produces a top round to finish in leading position for them, and again valuable points in the International Stairway Series. Big jumping rise and looking superb off the turf here at the Royal Norfolk. So the final lineup: Tim Davis is our winner with Valentino, Tim Stockdale finishing in second spot at the end with Bling Bling, Anna Edwards just that one timeful to finish in third place, and Douglas Duffett just a slip takes them into fourth spot with Kidam BZ.
Well done, Tim. Lovely to pick up all those points. You're into second now with this horse and third with the other one.
Brilliant. I'm over the moon. Now he's a bit older. He rises to these big occasions. He loves the big rings and he loves the big courses. And I didn't think I was as fast as Tim, actually. I thought I sort of was playing the odds game, whereas if I went clear, I was going to be second anyway. So I didn't want to do anything stupid. It's very easy to go in there, push them out of their rhythm at this height, and then they make stupid mistakes, which I've done before. So I just tried to keep it smooth, keep it even, and it's great.
And he's been Mr. Consistent, but nice to actually get the win, because they don't come very often. You might get the placings.
Exactly. And that's where because he won a few years ago, he won the car at Suffolk, and that was through winning and coming second on the first day. And to do that around these courses is really tough. So it just shows you what a brilliant horse he's been.
And so all guns blazing now for the rest of the season. You're going to have to try and catch Nigel Cow, just 3 points in it now.
Well, I'll be at Yorkshire, and I'm sure he will be as well.
All the best, and enjoy the prize giving here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Still with rounds to come over the next few weeks at the Great Yorkshire Show and down to the New Forest as well. But Nigel Cow and Tim Davis battling it out so far, just 3 points between them. Tim Stockdale close on them at 18, and Tim Davis's other rides, Braveheart up in the top 4, and Chloe Winchester in 5th.
So John Jacks there presenting the prizes to Tim Davis on behalf of British Show Jumping. Well, Nigel Cow better watch out, because Tim Davis has narrowed his lead to just 3 points. He's got Valentino in second and Braveheart in third. But the series now really starting to reach its climax. Just 3 events remain for the season. We'll see you at the next one.